of course, I put off filming this video for the entirety of the last week. And now there's gale force winds outside. So, if you can hear that, I'm sorry for who I am as a person. I mean, I'm not in control of the weather, but it wasn't windy every other day that I could have filmed this, so. I still haven't looked through all of the 2024 releases and picked out my actual most anticipated, aside from the two Elle McNichols, the Estelle Mascom. Sorry. But I do have about 16 books on my radar that are coming out in February that I would like to read. We all know I'm not gonna read most of them this year, but I would like to. Maybe. And I thought I can at least share them with you and we can all be excited about all these upcoming releases, and maybe some of us can also stress about how there's so many books coming out all the time and we already have so many books from the previous years. Like, I haven't even looked at what came out in the last few years that I've missed, and oh my gosh, I'm never gonna read every book I want to read, and that's just really sad. I think I've got these in publication order, so love that for me, love that for you. Let's get into it. I don't want to be here forever. The first book on my list is Shadowhall Academy, The Whispering Walls by Phil Hicks. Phil Hicks is the author of the Aveline Jones series. I've read the first one of that and really enjoyed it, and I don't know if I own the others, but I would like to read those as well. But this is set obviously in a school, and as I talked about in my January releases, I love contained settings, and schools fall into that. I know you can leave a school, but I think it's a boarding school. It's probably going to be a boarding school, isn't it? So there is that sense that, like, these kids, they can't leave. They're not allowed to leave. So I love a school setting. And in this school, spirits haunt the halls. Phil Hicks has a vibe and is sticking to it. We love the ghosty vibes, here for it. So this is the start of a new series, and do I know anything else about it? No. The second book I'm excited about comes out on the 6th of February, and it is 14 Days by the Authors Guild. Now, I'm sure some of you, most of you have heard about this, but if not, the Authors Guild is a group of authors and they've written this book. I suppose you could call it an anthology, but I don't know, like it does, yeah, well, it's tagged in genres as short stories and anthologies, but I don't know, I think from what I can gather, it's all connected. So it, like, basically it's set in a Lower East Side tenement during the beginning of COVID lockdowns. It's basically all these neighbours in this apartment building, obviously, like, sharing stories and stuff. They begin to gather on the rooftop and tell stories. With each passing night, more and more neighbours gather, bringing chairs and milk crates and overturned pails. Gradually the tenants, some of whom have barely spoken to each other, become real neighbours. So it's a novel, but it's like an anthology, but every author's story is like another neighbour telling a story. I just think it sounds great. I think this was founded by Margaret Atwood and Douglas Preston. And then we have authors like Celeste Ng, Emma Donoghue, Dave Eggers, John Grisham, Diana Gabaldon, Sylvia Day. I'm sure she's like, she's not like the erotica woman that became popular after 50 Shades. Anyway, Neil Gaiman, and more. There's loads more. So I think this sounds really interesting, and it's definitely one that I'm kind of got more at the front of the list. Front of the list, top of the list. Front of the pile, I don't even know what I'm talking about. This is one that I definitely will be trying to get my hands on sooner than later, but don't hold me to it because I make no promises. This next one is entirely because of the cover and because of one bit of the synopsis that I'm very intrigued by. But also on February 6th, we have The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett, and this is the first book in the Shadow of the Leviathan series. I cannot talk. We are 3 books in, and we're already going downhill. We're fine. All I've got, like, this is a mystery, thriller, fantasy, all good things. So the thing that drew me in about this one is basically the opening of the synopsis. In Daratana's, I'm not sure, it's the fantasy world, most opulent mansion, a high imperial officer lies dead, killed to all appearances, when a tree spontaneously erupted from his body. I am so intrigued. And as I say, I'm loving this cover, and that's all I care about. Also February 6th, we have Everyone Who Can Forgive Me Is Dead by Jelly Hollander. And again, thriller, mystery, here for it. But basically, 9 years ago, something happened at an elite graduate school on Christmas Eve, and it was known as the Scarlet Christmas. And basically, our main character Charlie fled. She's called by the police and the press a witness to the nightmarish events, but she knows she was much more than that. So now she's meticulously rebuilt her life. She's the editor-in-chief of a major magazine, engaged to the golden child of the publishing industry, and hell-bent on never ever letting her guard down again. But when a buzzy film made by one of Charlie's former classmates threatens to shatter everything she's worked for, Charlie realises how much she's changed in 9 years. Now she's not going to let anything, not even the people she once loved most, get in her way. So my assumption is whatever's happened, she is like involved, she caused it. But I'm very intrigued, so. Moving to February 13th, we have The Princess Protection Programme by Alex London. Now, I'm correct in saying that there was a Disney movie called The Princess Protection Programme, right? I don't know if this is like some sort of novelization of that or retelling. I don't see the word Disney anywhere. I don't know, and I've never seen that film, so like I can't tell you once I've read it if I read it. But this is a middle grade. Do I actually know anything about it? No. I like the cover. I think it's set in a school. I don't know, I just enjoy middle grade, and I know that this was in Ali's most anticipated like 2024 releases list, and I trust Ali when it comes to middle grade. Ali from Mythic Melancholy, who I'll tag below. Also on February 13th, and also a book I think I saw on Ali's list, is Hannah Tate Beyond Repair by Laura Piper Lee. I'm still not sure where I stand with adult romances, or just romance, like, but I'm willing to give it a try, and this cover is cute, and I don't know, I'm intrigued. Basically this girl finds an engagement ring in her boyfriend's closet, so she's all like, oh my gosh, like, you know, we've got our baby, we're gonna get engaged, and actually he breaks up with her. So she runs off to go back to her parents, and they've got this like cabin, and she thinks, oh, like I could decorate this, I could redo this, and we can make money, and blah blah blah. She hires this like carpenter to come and help her, and I'm assuming they're going to fall in love, so that was very groggy. Also on February 13th is A Suffragist's Guide to the Antarctic by Yi Shun Lai, and I don't know why, but this just feels like everything I want at the minute. Between November and February is usually when I read historical fiction, and I really haven't read a lot of historical fiction, but like cold historical fiction. I don't know how to describe it, but like Between Shades of Grey by Ruta Sepez, that book just gives me cold vibes, and it was perfect to read in the winter. This is literally mentioning the Antarctic. You can't get much colder, so perfect. But this is about a teen's fight for suffrage, which turns into one of survival when her crew's Antarctic expedition ship gets stuck in the ice. In this historical novel told in journal entries, which we love formats like that. And it's set in November 1914, so here for it. I think what's drawn me into this one is the fact that it's a suffragist. I know I learnt about both suffragists and suffragettes in high school, and maybe primary school a little, I don't know, but the focus has always been on the suffragettes, and I guess it's because they used a lot of more extreme measures, whereas the suffragists were a lot more, this is me trying to remember my history. It's an area of history that I was always interested in, so yeah, I don't know, it'd just be a good book to read. Obviously. I'm struggling, we're halfway there, we can do it, guys. Another February 13th release is The Fortune Seller by Rachel Kapelke-Dale. I'm not gonna lie, this is entirely a cover inclusion, and the fact it's tagged thriller mystery. Don't wanna know it. Oh, Manhattan. Another New York thing. There is a few books I'm noticing in here that are set in New York, and it's not like by design. Like, I didn't tell publishing to bring out all their Manhattan based books in February, but it's very fitting because I'm going, once I book it, I'm supposed to be going in 4 weeks, I haven't booked it yet, but hopefully in 4 weeks time I will be in Manhattan again, so I think that's why subconsciously I'm like, put all the New York based books in the list. I'm not going to read them before I go. So yeah, I don't know anything about that. Go look it up yourself. Speaking of Manhattan based books, February 13th, This Day Changes Everything by Edward Underhill. Now this is pitched as Dash and Lily meets Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I think I've read Dash and Lily. Haven't seen Ferris Bueller, but like I know the vibe. And it's a whirlwind rom-com about two queer teens who spend one life-changing day together in New York City. So what I gather, because I did read some of the synopsis for this, again I skim read synopsises, but Abby is with her Midwest high school marching band about to perform in Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and it's also, New York is also the setting of her favourite romance novel, and she figured it's the perfect place to finally tell her best friend Kat that she's in love with her and gay, so she's obviously not out yet. She's carefully annotated a copy of said favourite book as a gift for Kat, and that's, you know, she's gonna give her the gift and they're gonna share the love and it'll be great. And then there's Leo, who just wants to get through the trip without falling apart. But then they both get on the wrong subway train and they find themselves lost in the middle of Manhattan. And then Leo accidentally causes Abby to lose the annotated book. So to salvage the day, they come up with a new mission: find a souvenir from every location mentioned in the book for Abby to give to Kat instead. Which, here for it. It's like a treasure hunt. I love a treasure hunt book. Haven't really read a lot of them, so any recommendations for books where people are just traveling a place, going different locations, finding shit, here for it. Let me know. But as Leo and Abby traverse the city from the streets of Chinatown to the halls of Grand Central Station and to the top of the Empire State Building, their initial expectations for the trip and of each other begin to shift. Maybe if they let it, this could be the day that changes everything for the both of them. I feel like maybe they're gonna fall in love. On February 15th, we are expecting When I Feel Red by Lily Bailey. However, I can't even see a cover for this yet. But this is on my list because I have a copy of When I Feel Blue by Lily Bailey, which is on the shortlist for Elle McNichol's Adrian Prize. So this one, I haven't read the first one yet. I don't know if it is like a sequel or a companion or whatever, but this is on my list. It's about dyspraxia. So, you know, neurodivergence, and I don't know anything else. I never know anything else, but it's just gonna be like a contemporary finding your place in the world type vibe, and I'm here for that. Also on February 15th, this is kind of a cheat one, but it's Yesterday Crumb and the Tea Witch's Secret by Andy Sagar. This is book 3. I've read book 1 and loved it, but I have not yet read book 2. So I'm very excited about this. But that all hinges on whether or not book 2 is any good compared to book 1. You know what I mean? Like, if I read book 2 and it's not good, then I'm not going to be excited about this. But currently, I'm excited about this because it means when I read book 2, we then have this, if I like it, and I think I will. If you have not read Yesterday Crumb, please go and do it. I'm obviously not going to read or look at the synopsis for book 3 because that will spoil book 2 for me and book 1 and 2 for you if you don't know it. But book 1 follows Yesterday Crumb, who is a girl who has fox ears, and she's been in a circus, like freak show type thing. She escapes, and basically she ends up taken in by this woman who is a tea witch, and her tea house is on, I think it's flamingo legs, so Baba Yaga vibes, and it obviously moves around. But Yesterday's had a curse put on her, and basically the only way they can like lift it is if she becomes a qualified tea witch, or I don't know if it's specifically tea witch, I think it's just a qualified like licensed witch. So it's kind of like her learning how to be a witch and involving her powers and controlling them, and it's so sweet and it's so fun and it's everything I want in a magical middle grade, so please pick it up. On February 20th, I have another cheat because I'm excited about A Tempest of Tea by Hafsa Faisal, and obviously it's a cheat because I have it in my hands already, so like not anticipating the release because I have a copy. I don't know how I got this. I don't know, it rocked up. I think I ended up with a candle and a tea bag because you can't give a book about tea without giving tea, but I've started this. I'm really hoping to finish it today because today is the 31st of January, and for some reason, for some reason I have it in my head at the minute that I need to finish my current reads in January. Like, I'm just really against the idea of carrying over, which that's not gonna last. I can guarantee you I will. I think it's because I don't have a lot of books on the go at the moment. I have 3 on the go. I'm not finishing 3 books today. I'm definitely not finishing my ebook. I'm not finishing this. It's a struggle, but anyway, we're digressing about my brain being annoying. But this book is about well, I will tell you what it says here. An intoxicating brew of secrets, vampires and romance. Yes, a vampire book. But this is about Arthur Casimir, who has a tea room which is a front for an illegal blood house, and then the tea room and its secrets come under threat, but she gets pulled in to take part in a heist to try and, like, basically this official is like, I can save your tea room, but you gotta do this heist into like a den of vampires. So good luck with that. I think she's a vampire, but like this den of vampires is like elite exclusive club and she isn't in it, and I don't know where it's gonna go. I'm only about 80 pages in, but it's enjoyable so far. Very keen to see where it goes. The finished cover, stunning, and yeah, I'm excited for it to come out so that everyone else can read it, because I'm already reading it. I still don't know how I got this. Not mad about it. I should say that. A big thank you to Macmillan for the copy. Also on February 20th, I have The Bad Ones by Melissa Albert. I'm doing it again where I spin as if the book's actually going to appear. I'm gonna be honest, not sure why this one's on the list. I think the cover drew me in, and it's tagged horror, fantasy, gothic, thriller, mystery. So this is about 4 people vanishing without a trace across a small town in one winter's night, and Nora's estranged best friend Becca is one of the 4 that's missing. So Nora tries to untangle the truth of the disappearance and discovers a darkness in her town's past, as well as a string of coded messages that Becca left for her to unravel. These clues lead Nora to a piece of local folklore, a legendary goddess of forgotten origins who played a role in Nora and Becca's own childhood games. I'm very intrigued. I don't know what anything is. Freudian slip. I don't know. Yeah, moving on. On the 27th of February, we have probably the book I'm most excited for, and I definitely am going to get a copy of as soon as I can. Snow Globe by Soo Young Park, which is translated by Jungmin Lee Comfort. This sounds like everything I want. I've definitely been in the mood for dystopian lately, and this is dystopian. Like, this is the classic dystopian that I want. So basically, Snow Globe is set in a world where it is a constant bitter winter. Only the people who live inside the city of Snow Globe, which is literally a domed city, a city with a big dome around it, they are the only people that can escape the cold. They are the only people that get warmth. Outside of the Snow Globe, people's lives literally consist of going to work in the power plant to heat the Snow Globe, and then their only source of entertainment is a 24-hour TV channel that shows produced inside the Snow Globe. So those that live in the Snow Globe are the actors for these shows, and our main character lives for watching these shows, and she has a favourite show featuring this like one person. It turns out that person's now dead, and our main character has been chosen to go and replace her, and basically she finds out that life inside the Snow Globe is nothing like what you see on television, which I think translates to our world. Reality is a lie, and the truth seems to be forever out of reach. So I'm very intrigued by this. I'm very, very excited by it, and I'm so excited that it's translated fiction, because that's something I really want to try and read more of. So I'm here for that, and I need a copy now. Thank you. My penultimate book, I have conflicting information as to whether it's coming out on the 29th of February or the 14th of March, but Penguin's website says February, so I'm trusting February. And that is The Escape Room by L.D. Smithson. This just sounds like my kind of, I love a mystery. I love a mystery. I didn't even finish that sentence to tell you how much I love a mystery. But a mystery book where there's actual clues and I can actually try and figure things out, I'm here for it. So this starts with everything is a clue. Love it. 8 strangers arrive at a remote sea fort off the coast of England. They are here to take part in The Fortress, a mysterious reality TV show in which contestants have to solve a series of complex puzzles. But this is no game, and the consequences of failure are more deadly than anyone anticipated. I feel like it's been inspired a bit by Squid Game. No one leaves. The show's sinister purpose becomes clear when the first person is evicted from the competition. Instead of being sent home to their family, they are left to die in a locked room. The only way out is to win. Under scrutiny from the watching public, the contestants soon turn on one another. What are they willing to do for wealth and fame? How far will they go to survive, and who is behind it all? The only thing they know for certain is that they want to escape, they need to win. Are you ready to play? Like, whether this actually has clues, like whether we're following one person and we get to try and figure the clues out with them and try and like win the game, I don't know. Whether it's just like a thriller and like, oh my god, is this person gonna die? Like, I don't know, but I'm very intrigued, very excited, and I need to read this immediately, thank you. And my final book, oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this one. It is also a cheat because I may or may not have managed to get an e-copy and I'm currently reading it. But Remember by Elle McCrae. This book, I have been waiting for this book longer than I think I have ever waited for a book. So I got to meet Elle in November 2022 because she is a friend of a friend. So we were at said friend's birthday and there was a lot of people at this birthday, and my friend was like, Emma, you like books, you go talk to Elle. And I was like, sounds great. And she told me about her book, and I just remember at the time, like, she was telling me about it. I was like, when does it come out? And she's like, 2024. And I was like, no, I'm not waiting over a year. But I have waited. I now have a copy, and I'm reading it on my Kindle because it's an e-copy, and I read my Kindle pretty exclusively in bed, like before I go to sleep. And when I tell you, I've been going to bed early every night just because I want to read more of this book. If you couldn't gather from the title, and maybe like the flames and stuff, this is like a Guy Fawkes type thing. I mean, remember the 5th of November. The tagline is gunpowder treason and a plot to destroy the British Empire. It has also been kind of pitched as Les Mis meets Hamilton, which need we say more, but I'm just really enjoying this so far, and there's no way that I can actually like pitch this properly. We know what I'm like. I get excited and I cannot speak, so I'm just gonna read the synopsis to you. It's set in 1770. Our main character Delphine lives in the shadows of London, a secret vibrant world of smugglers, contestants and small rebellions. 4 years ago she escaped enslavement at a great personal cost. Now she must help her brother Vincent do the same. While Britain's highest court fails to administer justice for Vincent, little rebellions are no longer enough. What's needed is a big explosive plot, one that will strike at the heart of the transatlantic slave trade. But can one black woman, one fuse and one match bring down an empire? An incendiary alternative history, Remember is a gripping story of conscious conspiracy, queer identity and courage in the face of justice. So, need I say more? So I'm very excited about that one. And as I say, this one's out February 29th, so it's the very end of the month. So I'm sorry you have to wait so long, but if there's like one book on this list that I would be encouraging people to pick up, it's this one. As I say, I have waited 14 months for it. So yeah, oh, love it. And Elle is such a lovely person as well, so I'm so excited for her and to see how this book does, because I think it's gonna be one that, especially those who generally read adult history, like historical fiction, I think it's gonna be one. Let me know which books in February you are most excited for, whether they are on my list or one that I've missed, and I'll see ya when I see ya.